All right, so get this. Picture a centipede, but supersized. Uh, I'm talking up to 12 inches long. You know that's the Scolopendra subspinipes, also known as the giant centipede. Not exactly the kind of house guest you'd want, especially with that venomous bite. Today we're diving deep into the world of this creature. We've got research articles, field notes, and even some first-hand accounts of encounters with these fascinating arthropods. We'll uncover what makes them such skilled hunters, how they use their venom, and just how they manage to take down prey much larger than themselves, even small birds.
Oh, it's truly remarkable how these centipedes defy our expectations. They're not just fearsome predators, they're incredibly adaptable and have a surprising beauty,
Yeah.
with their reddish-brown to yellow coloration and those striking dark stripes.
Okay, let's zoom in on those physical features. I can't help but be curious about those legs. How many are we talking about, and what role do they play in their hunting strategy?
Well, the Scolopendra subspinipes typically has between 21 and 23 pairs of legs, each designed for both speed and agility. These aren't your average slow-moving centipedes. They can dart across surfaces with remarkable swiftness, which is essential for ambushing prey.
That's fascinating. So it's not just about brute strength, it's about speed and precision. And speaking of precision, I have to ask about those venomous fangs, the forcipules. Those sound pretty intense. What exactly are they and how do they work?
Well, the forcipules are essentially modified legs located right behind the head. They're sharp, pincer-like appendages that are used to inject venom into the prey. Think of them like hypodermic needles, delivering a potent cocktail of toxins that can quickly paralyze or even kill.
Wow, that's quite the weapon. It makes you wonder about the composition of that venom. What exactly is in it? And how does it affect the prey?
Well, the venom is incredibly complex, containing a mix of enzymes, peptides, and proteins. These components work together to break down tissue, disrupt nerve function, and cause intense pain and inflammation in their prey. It's a highly effective way to subdue their meals quickly, minimizing the risk of injury to the centipede itself.
That's amazing. It seems like this venom is perfectly designed for their predatory lifestyle. But how does this venom affect humans? Are we talking life-threatening danger here?
Well, while a Scolopendra subspinipes bite is certainly not something you want to experience, it's rarely lethal to humans. We're simply too large to be considered prey. However, the venom can cause intense pain, swelling, and localized tissue damage at the bite site. The severity of the reaction can vary depending on the individual and the amount of venom injected, but it's always best to seek medical attention, especially if you experience any unusual symptoms or if the pain and swelling worsen.
Okay, good to know. It sounds like prevention is key. So where in the world are people most likely to encounter these giant centipedes? Are we talking about a specific region or habitat?
The Scolopendra subspinipes is quite adaptable and can be found in various tropical and subtropical regions around the world. Think humid rainforests, leaf litter, under logs, basically anywhere with plenty of moisture and cover. They're common in Southeast Asia, India, and parts of China. But they have also established themselves in the Pacific Islands, Central America, and even parts of South America.
That's a pretty impressive range. It seems like they've managed to carve out a niche for themselves in a variety of environments.
Yeah.
But I'm picturing them in a dense rainforest, lurking in the shadows. Are they active during the day? Or are they more of a nighttime hunter?
You're right on the mark with that image. They are primarily nocturnal creatures, preferring to hunt under the cover of darkness. As the sun sets and the rainforest comes alive with the sounds of the night, that's when the Scolopendra subspinipes emerges from its hiding place to stalk its prey.
So they're like the stealthy ninjas of the centipede world. What kinds of prey are they targeting during these nocturnal hunts?
Oh, their diet is remarkably diverse, encompassing a wide range of creatures. Insects, spiders, and other arthropods are common targets, but they're also known to hunt small rodents, lizards, frogs.
Wait, hold on. I remember reading that they can even take down birds. How is that even possible?
Oh, it's truly a testament to their hunting prowess. They'll target birds nesting on or near the ground, using their lightning-fast reflexes and potent venom to subdue the bird before it can react.
That's incredible. So it's not just about speed and venom, it's about strategy too. They're choosing their targets carefully and exploiting vulnerabilities. But I have to ask, how does a centipede, even a giant one, manage to overpower a bird? What's the actual mechanics of the attack?
Imagine this. A bird nesting low to the ground, maybe even in the leaf litter. The centipede, using its highly sensitive antenna, detects the bird's presence. It moves in stealthily, taking advantage of the cover of darkness. And then, bam! It strikes with incredible speed, using those powerful legs to grapple the bird.
Okay, I'm picturing it now. It's like a scene from a nature documentary, but with a bit more suspense.
Exactly. And once it has a grip on the bird, it injects its venom with those forcipules, aiming for areas where the venom can quickly reach the nervous system. This venom, remember, is designed to paralyze, so the bird is quickly immobilized.
It's amazing how they've evolved such a specialized hunting strategy. It's a combination of physical adaptations and behavioral finesse. But what happens after the bird is immobilized? How do they actually consume such a large prey?
The Scolopendra subspinipes has powerful mandibles, think of them like jaws, that are designed for crushing and tearing. They'll start by consuming the softer parts of the bird, like the internal organs, before moving on to the tougher tissues. It's a gruesome but efficient process.
That's some serious predatory power. But it makes you wonder, if they can take down birds, are there any other creatures in the rainforest that pose a threat to them? Are they ever the prey?
They're certainly not invincible. While they are formidable predators, they do have natural enemies, larger birds, snakes, and even some mammals will prey on Scolopendra subspinipes if given the opportunity.
So it's a constant battle for survival out there, even for a creature as powerful as the giant centipede. But speaking of battles, I'm curious about their social interactions. Do these centipedes live in groups, or are they more solitary creatures?
The Scolopendra subspinipes are known for their solitary and territorial nature. They don't form social groups and will often engage in aggressive behavior if they encounter another centipede in their territory.
So basically, a centipede fight club in the rainforest.
You could say that. They'll fight for resources, for mates, and for dominance. And with their powerful forcipules, those fights can get pretty intense.
Yikes. I think I'll stick to observing them from a safe distance. But seriously, those territorial battles raise an interesting question. What are the ecological consequences of their competition? Does it impact other species, or even their own population dynamics?
That's a great question, and it highlights the complexity of their role in the ecosystem. Their territorial behavior does have implications for other creatures in their habitat. For example, by controlling populations of insects, spiders, and other arthropods, they help to maintain balance in the food web.
So it's not just about competition, it's about maintaining a delicate equilibrium.
Exactly. And their territoriality can also impact their own population. By limiting the number of centipedes in a given area, they ensure that there are enough resources to go around. This helps to prevent overpopulation and maintain the overall health of the species.
It's amazing how these seemingly simple behaviors can have such far-reaching consequences.
It is. And it reminds us that even creatures we might find creepy or unsettling play a vital role in the intricate web of life. They're not just solitary hunters. They're integral parts of a complex and interconnected ecosystem.
Absolutely, and I think that's a perfect point to transition to a deeper dive into their ecological role. But before we do that, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll explore how the Scolopendra subspinipes fits into the bigger picture of the rainforest ecosystem. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Before the break, we were just starting to uncover the Scolopendra subspinipes' role in the rainforest ecosystem. We've talked about their predatory skills and how they control populations of other creatures. But what's fascinating is how this seemingly simple act of hunting ripples out to impact the whole environment.
Yeah, it's a cascade effect, really. By keeping populations of insects, spiders, and other arthropods in check, the Scolopendra subspinipes helps maintain the delicate balance of the rainforest's food web. This, in turn, benefits the plants, the birds, and even the larger mammals that rely on these ecosystems for survival.
So they're like the unsung heroes of the rainforest, working behind the scenes to keep everything in harmony. But I'm curious about the other side of the coin. What about the creatures that prey on the Scolopendra subspinipes? We mentioned larger birds, snakes, and mammals. How do these predators factor into the equation?
That's where it gets even more interesting. The Scolopendra subspinipes, despite its formidable defenses, isn't at the top of the food chain. It becomes a valuable food source for those larger predators, providing them with essential nutrients and energy.
Like a circle of life, a constant flow of energy moving from one creature to the next. But I'm imagining that the Scolopendra subspinipes doesn't go down without a fight. Does that potent venom play a role in its defense strategy?
Absolutely. That venom isn't just for hunting, it's also a powerful deterrent against would-be predators. Imagine a snake attempting to swallow a Scolopendra subspinipes. That mouthful of venom would be a nasty surprise, likely causing enough pain and discomfort to make the snake reconsider its meal choice.
That's a vivid image. I'm starting to see how that venom is a key to their survival on multiple levels. It's both a weapon and a shield, allowing them to hunt effectively and defend themselves against larger threats. But it also makes me wonder about their evolution. How did these creatures develop such a potent venom in the first place?
It's a fascinating question. Over millions of years, through a process of natural selection, the Scolopendra subspinipes evolved this venom as a way to increase its chances of survival. Individuals with more potent venom were more successful hunters and were better able to defend themselves, meaning they were more likely to survive and pass on those advantageous genes.
It's a reminder that evolution is a constant arms race, a push and pull between predator and prey, always striving for an edge. But speaking of evolution, I've been reading about the potential impact of climate change on various species. I'm curious, how might a changing climate affect a creature like the Scolopendra subspinipe?
That's a great question, and one that scientists are actively studying. Climate change is altering habitats around the world, and this could have significant implications for the Scolopendra subspinipes. For example, changes in temperature and rainfall patterns could impact the availability of prey, potentially forcing them to adapt their hunting strategies or even shift their ranges.
So it's not just about surviving the present, it's about adapting to an uncertain future.
Exactly, and that adaptability will be key to their long-term survival. The Scolopendra subspinipes has already proven to be remarkably adaptable, thriving in a variety of environments. But the rate and magnitude of climate change present a new set of challenges that will test their resilience.
It's a reminder that we're all interconnected, and the choices we make today will have ripple effects throughout the natural world. But I want to shift gears for a moment and delve deeper into something we touched on earlier, the Scolopendra subspinipes' territorial behavior. You mentioned they'll fight for resources, mates, and dominance. Can you paint a picture of what one of these territorial battles might look like?
Imagine two Scolopendra subspinipes encountering each other in the rainforest undergrowth. Their antennae twitching as they sense a rival. The air crackles with tension as they size each other up, their bodies poised for action.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What happens next?
They'll often engage in a series of ritualistic displays, trying to intimidate their opponent. They might raise their front legs, sway back and forth, or even produce hissing sounds as a warning.
It sounds like a high-stakes dance-off.
Yeah.
But with venomous fangs.
If these displays fail to deter the rival, the encounter can escalate into a full-blown battle. They'll use their powerful legs and forcipules to grapple and strike, trying to subdue their opponent.
So it's a combination of strength,
Yeah.
agility, and venomous strikes.
Exactly. These battles can be fierce and often result in injuries, but they're rarely fatal. The goal is to establish dominance and secure access to resources, not necessarily to kill the opponent.
It's fascinating how these seemingly simple creatures have such complex social interactions. It makes you realize there's so much more to their world than meets the eye. But before we get too far down that rabbit hole, I think it's time to bring our discussion full circle. We've talked about their biology, their behavior, and their ecological role, but I want to end by focusing on their relationship with humans. For those of us who might encounter a Scolopendra subspinipes in the wild, what precautions should we take?
Well, the most important thing is awareness. When you're in their habitat, be mindful of their presence. Avoid reaching into dark crevices or disturbing areas where they might be hiding.
So basically, common sense prevails.
Exactly. And when it comes to footwear, closed-toe shoes are a must. You don't want to accidentally step on one of these creatures.
That's sound advice. But what if, despite our best efforts, an encounter does occur and a bite happens? What steps should we take?
First, stay calm. While a Scolopendra subspinipes bite is painful, it's rarely life-threatening to humans. Clean the wound thoroughly with soap and water, and apply a cold compress to reduce swelling. If you experience any unusual symptoms, or if the pain and swelling worsen, seek medical attention immediately.
It sounds like a good first aid kit is essential for any rainforest adventures.
Absolutely. And it's always a good idea to familiarize yourself with the local flora and fauna before venturing into any new environment. A little knowledge can go a long way in ensuring a safe and enjoyable experience.
That's great advice. And, it strikes me that our fear of creatures like the Scolopendra subspinipes often stems from a lack of understanding.
I agree. We tend to demonize creatures we don't understand, projecting our fears and anxieties onto them.
But as we've learned today, the Scolopendra subspinipes is not some mindless monster. It's a fascinating creature with a complex life history and an important role to play in the intricate web of life.
Well said. And I think that's a perfect segue to our final segment, where we'll wrap up our deep dive into the world of the giant centipede with some concluding thoughts and insights. But before we do that,